Hello sewers, I'm Debbie from Sew Simple Bags. Does your sewing machine have an automatic needle threader? One of those little handles that you pull down on the side of your needle, which is supposed to help you put the thread through automatically? If you don't have the best eyesight, don't have the best manual dexterity, or you're just looking for a way to make using your sewing machine quicker and easier, then I'll show you how to use it. It can be a little bit tricky and there's a definite knack to it. Let's go over to the machine and I'll show you how it works. Now, the knack to success with the automatic needle threader is really understanding how it works. Let me take the presser foot off, that might give us a slightly better view. Basically, this is the little handle here. You pull this down and as you continue to pull, this part here swivels. And actually the magic is in the little part with the prongs that's at the back. The needle goes right into this part where the prongs are, and inside there, if you looked incredibly, something incredibly small, there's the teeny tiniest little hook, and it has to be teeny tiny because what it does is when it drops down and the needle goes between the prongs, the little hook actually goes through the eye of the needle. So you can imagine the eye on your sewing machine needle is very small. So for this to come down and for that hook to go through there, it's got to be tiny. And it's because it's so small that it actually makes it a little difficult to use. Now, I've had a good look and I've also been trying for at least the last 10 minutes to get a decent photograph of this hook, and it's so small that it's really very difficult because it's right in the back of this area here. But basically the hook is downwards. So the hook is like this or like this. So in order to get your thread into this little hook, it needs to go underneath and up. Let me show it from this side. I'm not sure which camera is catching it best. So the thread has to go underneath the hook and up to be pulled through the needle. Like this. And it's only when you really understand what this little hook is like and how tiny it is that you realize how tricky this can be to use. So basically I have my machine threaded down to the little thread clip above just here. And as I pull this down, the little hook goes all the way through the needle. So the first thing to do is to take the thread and catch it under this larger hook on the left hand side. You can see just here, I'm catching it under this left hand hook as it comes down, and that sets us up for success. Then we pull our thread across. The little hook goes through the eye of our needle, and we know that the hook is facing downwards. So in order to get our thread under that little hook, it needs to be at the bottom. So I'm going to put my thread at a downward angle and slide it along the bottom prong and then up, so that hopefully it catches in that little hook and the hook pulls it through the eye of the needle and our machine is threaded. Let's do that again. So as this comes down, my thread goes under the larger hook on the left. As the little hook goes through the eye of the needle, my thread comes along here and I'm holding it down so I know it's under the hook. Then I'm lifting it and allowing the hook to pull it through the eye of the needle. So there we go, there's a definite knack to it, and I'm definitely going to carry on and try and get the best picture I can of this tiny little hook, but hopefully that's given you a quick tip on how to use your automatic needle threader. Now, what can go wrong? Well, of course, that little tiny hook has to go through the eye of the needle. So if anything is bent, if your needle is slightly bent or out of position, the hook isn't going to go through the eye. Also, if the needle isn't properly inserted, when you insert the needle, it has to go all the way up into the machine so that when you come down, that little hook in here lines up with the eye of the needle exactly and feeds through. So if the needle's bent or slightly out of position, or if anything here has been damaged over time, the little hook won't go through the eye of the needle and your needle threader won't work properly. So there we go. I hope that's been useful. Hit the subscribe button if you found this video of interest to you, and I hope to see you on the channel again very soon.